Alright, so here's the next project. We are going to install a diesel heater. So this is the all-in-one unit. In my previous box truck, I used the one where you kind of build it as you go and all the pieces are separate. You gotta mount the fuel pump, mount the fuel filter, run a bunch of fuel lines separate from the tank. But on this unit, or in this box truck, I decided to get the all-in-one just because it's really not that much larger and I have the space for it. So I figured I might as well just go for it, do the all-in-one. And it's gonna go right there. So let's take a look at it. This is pretty cool, just because it's an all-in-one unit. So the fuel tank is inside, the fuel pump and the filter is all inside. On the front, this is your output for, let me grab some light. Okay, so on the front, this is the output for your heater vent. It's got the thermostat right here. And then there's a remote control if you want to run it remotely. The fuel tank is built inside. It sits right next to the heater. So it's kind of cool that you don't have to pre-build all that stuff. And then on the back side, this is the intake where it pulls in the fresh air. And then it's got a connection for your positive and your negative 12 volt hookup. So all in one, pretty simple. And the only thing I really should have to do is I'm gonna have to drill a hole, 2 holes in the floor, one for the intake, one for the exhaust, and run those straight down. One thing I am gonna do is I'm going to take the cover off because I saw some reviews online about people mentioning that it might have had a factory kinked fuel hose on some of the units they got. So I want to go ahead and just open this up and look at the internals. So we got the fuel line. This is actually a really nice rubber hose. I like this. All the fittings look really good. And so we're coming out of the tank right here. We're going up into this hard tube. It's coming up, it's looping around, it's coming down, up. And then here's the pump right here. And you can see the pump does have that rubber housing on it, which kind of helps everything out. It's kind of just hanging freely. And then the fuel line, so you can see the fuel line up here. This is the pump. It's coming out of the pump, going through here, and they have quite a bit of fuel line just wrapped up here. And then it goes down underneath, and it goes up underneath to the bottom, to the inlet of the heater. And so if we tip it up like this, boom. There you can see we have an intake and exhaust, and then the fuel line here goes up right into the bottom of the unit. So it looks really good. I don't see any kinks on the fuel line, which was the main concern after reading the Amazon reviews. So in my mind, this looks good. It looks ready to go, and it looks like I should be able to install it without any issues. It should just fire up. So we'll go ahead and proceed. So I wanted to show you guys really quick just how crazy the instructions are on this thing. So the unit itself, you know, one of those is an intake, one is an exhaust. If you look at the pipes themselves, they're not marked. There's no way to know just by looking at it which one is intake, which is exhaust. And so if you look at the instruction manual, this is really your only clue as to which is which. And so I just kind of had to decipher, but you can see, so like, this is the front of the heater. This is the pipe here that delivers the hot air into the box truck. So we know this is the front of the unit, and it shows you the intake and exhaust here. And then, so, but if you look closely, like, there's numbers, and then the numbers are associated at the bottom with text to tell you what's what. But the drawing is so blurry, it's hard to even read it. And this is my camera like fully focused. It's not my camera out of focus. This drawing looks like they photocopied it out of another manual. Anyway, I can barely make it out, but this is number 7, and then this pipe here is number 8. And so if you look at the instructions, 7 is the exhaust pipe, 8 is the combustion air duct, which is your intake. So we know 7 is the exhaust, and that is the one closest to the output with the warm air hose. And so on the unit itself, here's the output with the warm air hose. And so this one right here is going to be the exhaust pipe. And then here's some of the parts it came with. So here's the exhaust pipe right here. It's got a little muffler on it. So the exhaust pipe will slide right on here. Boom. And then the intake will slide right in here. Boom, like that. And then those two pipes just got to go down under the box truck. So I made my marks here. This square is 5 inches by 3 inches, and so that matches pretty closely with the dimensions of this hole down here. So if I cut that 5 by 3 square, that should be enough room to run those two pipes. So I got the hole cut out and went ahead and cut through the plywood that I have down as my subfloor, and then you can see there's a 3/4 insulation as well. So I went ahead and cut all that stuff out, and now I'm down to the aluminum floor of the box truck. That's the one thing I don't like about these box trucks is the aluminum floor. It's difficult to drill through versus like having a wood floor. Some box trucks have wood floor, which is obviously really easy. First thing I'm going to try is this step bit. I'm going to see how that does on the aluminum floor. That actually worked really well. So the aluminum floor has these ribs on the bottom, and I think I totally just missed one and just got the thin aluminum because that drilled really, really smooth. So I'm super happy about that. Let's see if I can do another one, see how it turns out. Well, first I gotta open that one up a little bit more. So this step bit is actually big enough that if I can run it all the way down, it'll be a big enough hole that I can then run my pipe through. So I think I'm just gonna keep going with the step bits and open that hole up and see how it looks. That's it. Whoa, we got it. We got one. What do you guys think? Can we get lucky and hit the same thing on the other side? All right, so if you look through the hole, on the right-hand side, you can see that's that channel I was talking about that runs on the bottom. So I just missed it just enough that, you know, I made it with the step bit, right? So, but the question now is, the next one on the other side, can I miss it? All right, so here we are, 2 holes, enough clearance for the pipe. Whoop. Whoop. So you can see that I was able to trim the wood back, and what I actually did is I just used a hole saw and I just shoved it in and I just basically chomped down through that wood. All right, so the next step is to go ahead and attach the intake and exhaust. And so let's go ahead and throw up the exhaust first. And they gave us these hose clamps, so that's what I'll be using. And then put the hose clamp in. And then this is the intake pipe, the black one. We'll slide that on the other side. There we go. Kind of a 2-man job here, but old Nomad Brad, he does 2-man jobs by himself. I ain't scared of no 2-man job. There we go. Exhaust and intake cleanly down through the floor. You're not gonna be able to see it from up here, But we'll go ahead and go outside now and jump up underneath the truck and take a look at what we're working with. We'll attach the rest of those fittings that go on the outside as well. Of course, it's a rainy, overcast day today, so not the best day to be on the ground, but that's okay. That's just the way it goes. So let's take a look up. Boom, there's my pipes. You see those channels I was talking about? Those horizontal channels? I just got super lucky and was able to nail right inside each channel perfectly. Love it. So, here's what we're gonna do. We're gonna run the intake pipe. We're gonna stretch it out, pull on it. It's kind of an expanding pipe. And we're gonna go ahead and bring it forward like that. And we're going to secure it to this piece of metal that's already in here. Absolutely brilliant. So that's the intake. And then the exhaust, we're gonna bend it this way. And I'm gonna need 2 hands for this. Okay, so what I'm gonna do is bend this exhaust pipe like this. And one key with the installation is you always want the muffler to be the lowest point on the exhaust line. So you don't want to have the line like come down and do a loop and then go back up. So this is a pretty good angle. And then what I'm debating is, you know, this muffler, I don't think the muffler really does that much, but we're going to install it anyway. Maybe I should just have it go back like this, and then it can escape out. It can escape out by the wheel well. See that? Because if I cut a hole through this and then I have this, like this exhaust is pretty dirty, this diesel exhaust, and then I'm going to be having soot like just constantly all up my the side of my van. Okay, so here we go. First thing I'm going to do is the intake, just because it's going to be the easiest. And so, let's see, it'll end up like this and like this. Like that. Oh, we're just gonna blast this bad boy right in. Now, let's work on the exhaust piece. First, we gotta put on the hose clamp, then slide on the muffler. The muffler has this little hole on the bottom called the weep hole, and so that needs to point down when you install the muffler. So go like that, go like this. Let's go ahead and hit it with the Drillzilla. There we go. That's solid, that ain't going anywhere. Alright, here it is. I got the second little clamp piece. So, that's the plan. I'm going to try to just clamp it, drill just right through this guy into that steel like I did on the other one. And hopefully it'll just hold the exhaust there and it won't be an issue and everything will be awesome. That's what I hope. There we go. Alright, it feels very tight. It's a little loosey-goosey on the top side here. I definitely need to foam that. But otherwise it feels pretty good. So where it comes out of the bottom of the truck, here's the intake attached to that support, the exhaust coming out the back. There it is. Now you're supposed to have the exhaust pointed completely to open air, like outside the rig, but I think this will be close enough. The wheel well for the tire is right there. It's pointed in that direction. So hopefully no exhaust ends up inside the truck, but I'll be monitoring it. All right, so here we go. Got the heater installed. Got the warm air pipe kind of just turned over to the side for now. All right, so here it is. We got the fuel pump on. You can hear it clicking. So I wasn't able to figure out how to get this. There's instructions in here about how to manually feed the pump, which is what I need, but I can't figure it out. It doesn't work on this remote. I tried exactly what they said to do, and it doesn't work. I'm not surprised. This Chinese stuff is definitely not dependable, so it's not always as good as you want it to be. Anyway, it doesn't work, so I'm just gonna have to manually cycle it a couple times until I can get the fuel into the heater and it'll start burning. So that's what we're gonna do. Just go ahead and try it out and see if we can get this thing to ignite and heat us up. Alright, the heater is running. It is creating heat. We're gonna hop down here and take a look at it. So you can hear the intake sucking in, the exhaust spitting out. So here it is running. It only took me twice. I had to recycle the power once because the fuel didn't make it all the way to the unit, and so it timed out. It gave me error code 8, which is a fuel delivery error code, and so I just pulled power from it and powered it back up and hit the on button, and it made it, no sweat. So we got a nice hot heat coming out of here. It's on H3 is the current heating level. It goes all the way up to 5. So let's go ahead and crank this bad boy up. There's H4, there's H5. Oh shit, it goes to 6. So here's H6. We're gonna go ahead and just crank this bad boy and let it run for a few minutes, see how it does. But otherwise, super happy with it. The install went a lot faster than I was expecting. Very simple, no major issues. And the important thing is the heater works. It works perfectly right out of the box. I didn't have to modify anything. So definitely a good unit, this VEVOR. Alright guys, I got the case put back on, and I just wanted to show you that it's much quieter with the case on. I can just barely hear it clicking. And this is ultimately going to be a bench right here, so this is going to be enclosed and there's going to be cushions on top of it. So by the time the build out is complete, this should be very, very, very whisper quiet. But already I'm actually pretty happy with that. Very, very minimal noise. So that's it. Diesel heater is installed. It's ready to go. Looking good. Good morning, friends. It's Nomad Brad coming to you from my box truck. And I gotta tell you, I'm really excited for today. The last time I did work on the van, I installed this white paneling on the wall. Now, I didn't make a video out of that because I didn't feel like it. Honestly, guys, I'm like this, it's a simple thing, and I just was unmotivated to film it. So I didn't film it, but it's here now. You can look at it. Isn't it beautiful? So I put up this white wall paneling, and then I installed this wood paneling here on the wall. Previously, the wall just had the insulation on it. So what I'm doing today is painting, which is going to be one more step to make this box truck really feel like a home, which I'm excited about. I'm ready to feel like I'm living in a home. So I got some light gray paint that's going to contrast nicely with the white, and it'll match the white and gray in the marble countertop and the white and gray in the marble floor. And that's it. So let's go get it. Let's go get that paint. Alright, so here is the supplies. I'm gonna use a roller. I'm gonna use this 6-inch roller. I got it from Home Depot. And I got this paint, bare cabinet door and trim enamel in a satin finish. And so that's gonna be it. That's the color. It's kind of a storm gray. And so there she goes. We're gonna go ahead and roll it on. I like a roller, it just moves faster. So see how it does. Spray trim on the bed platform. Got the cabinets all grayed out. Looking much, much better. I like it already. Just looking way cleaner. All that wood color just pops out and looks super unfinished. But having it painted now, it just looks really good. It looks a lot more finished. So I'm really happy with how it turned out. The paint went on really smooth, really evenly with the roller. Really no texture issues, no runs or anything. It's still wet, obviously, but yeah, it looks really good. Super happy with how it turned out.